Good morning. And welcome to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura. I am Worship Associate Jim Merrill, and I'm joined this morning by Worship Associate Jerry Mendelson. We greet the good people here in the sanctuary, as well as all of you people out there in Zoom and YouTube land. In a moment, we will also be greeted by Julie Tumamait-Stenslie, an elder of the Chumash people, on whose ancestral homeland we in Ventura worship today. We are pleased to have Julie with us today to lead our service while our minister, the Reverend Dana Warsnop, is out of the pulpit. Julie Tumamait-Stenslie grew up in the beautiful Ojai Valley, the last of 7 children. She continues to live there with her husband and adult family. Julie is a Chumash elder, storyteller, educator, and advocate for social and environmental justice. She is tribal chair of a local Chumash band. She has invested nearly 40 years of her time to teach people of all ages about the beautiful and ancient relationship of her people and the world. She reminds people that no matter where you come from, you were indigenous too. Immediately following today's service, Julie plans to join the participants in our children's religious education program for some activities outdoors. And those who are present in the sanctuary are welcome to come out and join in too. Welcome, Julie Tumamait-Stenslie. The generosity team sends us this reminder. Thank you to all of you who have turned in your pledge cards. We encourage all of you who have not yet done so, please, to do so. The budget team needs a good count of pledges in order to be able to draft a budget to finance all that we want to do in this next church year. So while the pledges shift over later in the year, the finance team really needs that information now. So if you have it sitting on a kitchen table or something, please get that in. Now, let us arrive fully together from wherever you are joining this service. Find together beauty, community, peace, and resolve. Let us enter sacred space.
As Jim said, good morning to you all. I'm still Worship Associate Jerry Mendelson. We invite you who are at home, Zooming or streaming, into the service to light a chalice or candle with us here in the sanctuary as we honor our free faith here.
Morning, everyone. Haku, lahupwashwashits. How are you? So as we've lit that fire, one of our most precious elements, and as we honor that element, and we honor the element of air, the oxygen that we breathe that gives us that life, we are thankful for the day. There was one other element that's one of my favorite, and that's water. And as I welcome you today into this space, those of you at home, and in all 4 directions as we move in this place of the world, that we acknowledge all living beings, that we see this morning the clouds up in the sky, and I'm saying, yes, come on in. We don't want to be dissing the rain. Our prayers of our culture say, it's raining, it's raining. Go in your home. Very simple, very straightforward. When my father was here, Vincent James Tumamait-Stenslie Beaver was his Chumash name. He brought a long time ago the words of our people and through song and story. And I follow in those footsteps of our grandfather, Cecilio Tumamait, and our great-grandfather, Juan de Jesus Tumamait, that after church, after the mission was out and everybody would go over to near Paranos in Ventura, he would start a story and start it for 3 days. So if you wanted to come, the middle, beginning, middle, and end. So I carry the name of a storyteller, Bear. Bear with me. So I will sing you a welcome song, Yawahawi Ohoshima, which means welcome water friend. For like the rain, you are as welcome. And you can sing along too if you like. Those of you at home, if you want to hear those words, welcome water friend. Yawahawi, Yawahawi, Yawahawi Ohoshima. 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 One more time. Yawahawi, Yawahawi, Yawahawi Ohoshima. Yawahawi, Yawahawi, Yawahawi Ohoshima. Yawahawi, Yawahawi, Yawahawi Ohoshima. Yawahawi, Yawahawi, Yawahawi Ohoshima. So welcome the rain. We thank you to all our relations.
Thank you, Julie. Good morning, everyone. I'm Carolyn Bierke, the music director, and I'd like to welcome you all here and on Zoom. Please join me in our opening hymn, O Brother Sun. Rise in body or spirit, or just stay on your couches if you're at home and follow the words on the screen. O brother sun, you bring us light, all shining round in fiery night. O sister moon, you heal and bless, your beauty shines in tenderness. O brother wind, you sweep the hills, your mighty breath both fresh and fills. O sister water, you cleanse and flow through river streams in ice and snow. O brother fire, you warm our night with all your dancing colored light. O sister earth, you feed all things, all birds, all creatures, all scales and wings. O sister death, you meet us here and take us to our God so near. O God of life, we give you praise for
Each Sunday, this congregation gives away our collection to an organization in the larger community or to funds that help people in our own church. Those at home have two ways to give: through the link posted in the chat or by texting from your phone at 844-901-1779. Folks here in the sanctuary can also text to give, or you can still write a check or give cash, dropping it in the basket at the back of the sanctuary after the service. Our offering today goes to Food Share of Ventura County to give low-income families nutritious meals to eat, help seniors afford medication and healthy food, and provide those experiencing homelessness with a hot meal. Food Share of Ventura County helps feed 140,000 people in need every month. Because they buy in bulk, every $100 donated provides 600 nutritious meals to our friends and neighbors struggling with the stress of hunger. Another reason that Food Share can help so many so inexpensively is that they have the help of about 150 volunteers every day, gleaning food from fields, as our guest told me she has done, picking up donated items from grocery stores, and staffing Food Share's many food pantries all across the county. Thank you for donating generously, as you always do, to help Food Share lead the fight against hunger in Ventura County. We are grateful for the generosity of this community, which weaves a basket of love that holds us all.
Part of life is its joys and sorrows, and it gives us strength to share those experiences within our UU community so that we can support one another. We place stones in water for both the ups and downs in our hearts, with the ripples that result touching us all. You could submit a joy or sorrow and share it with us all via a link on the website, uuventura.org, or a link in our Thursday email bulletin, UUCV This Week. You are invited now to speak into the gathered community or write into the Zoom chat the names of those you wish to celebrate, memorialize, or those in need of the loving embrace of this beloved community. Please feel free to continue to add to the chat even after the silent pause. Jim will now place one final stone in the water for all the joys and sorrows yet unspoken in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. May we be truly grateful for all that is our life.
Our next hymn is "The Earth is Our Mother." It's a slightly different version than what's in the hymnal, so I encourage you to follow the words on the screen. We put in different words, but the tune goes like this. Together. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. Her sacred ground we walk upon, with every step we take. Her sacred ground we walk upon, with every step we take. The sky is our father, we will take care of him. the sky is our Father, we will take care of him. The sea is our sister, we will take care of her. The sea is our sister, we will take care of her. The earth is our mother, we will take care of her. The earth is our mother, we will take care of her.
We invite you now into a time of stillness. Following our silent meditation, Julie will lead us in a meditative song. Now, settle into your seat wherever you are, with your feet on the earth. Breathe in and breathe out at your own pace. Both breaths fully part of the act of breathing. A silent meditation.
For several thousands and thousands of years, our people were here in this land. We still have that connection through our dream time, through some of the words of our elders that was left behind. One place, Tumamait-Stenslie, a great wot, or chief, out on Santa Cruz Island. Then we called it Limu, meaning in the sea. And it was prophesied that his daughter was going to become the princess of all the Channel Islands. And no one wanted a girl ruling them. But we are a matrilineal society, and a woman can rule. There was a great battle that ensued, and elders went to the islands and said, look, you must let, it's meant to be. So she did become the princess of all the islands. After the people were removed from the islands, she was over here at the village near Emmawood, where some of you may know where Emmawood Beach is. And she tried to tell the people, don't go over there, meaning across the river there where the mission was, because they're trying to make you forget who you are. Well, the song, they honored Tumamait-Stenslie for his taking his stance and letting prophecy be. And they sang a song in his honor. It became that honor song and a healing song, also a seaweed dance song, and also a lover's lament song. So as we know that the power of healing comes through all of us, we are not to separate ourselves from the medicine people or the shamans. We all have that ability through healing, through our love, and through the power that comes and resonates out of us. So this song emulates that. Lai wa wila hilele. Lai wa wila hilele. Lai wa wila hilele. Hai wa wila hilele. wawila hilele. Behold me, I walk moving in brilliance and feathers. May we all walk beauty in the future. Ai wawila ilele. Ai wawila ilele. Lai wawila ilele. Lai wawila ilele. Suwait sunayat set, sunai sunayat set, for he was a very respected bear. Oh, thank you. Do I go into my stories? Okay. So as we grow up and we're children and we listen to all these stories that are called fairy tale, myth, and lore, people often ask me as I tell my stories, are those stories real? I said, well, if you listen to a story long enough, they become real. And it's only when we hear these stories and we go through those stages of loss, of joy, of love, or betrayal, then we go, oh, now that story makes sense. So everybody has teachings. And so what I wanted to do is start with the creation story so that you can get a sense of what our beliefs were and what all peoples, like as I said, we were all indigenous once and we all come from this genetic place of remembrance. Some of us, I don't know about some of you women, but we have children. I'm not going to do what my mom did, but then you find yourself uttering those words. We can't help it. It's just in us. So a long time ago, the worlds, in many cultures, multiple universes, we were no different. We had an upper world, Mishupashup. We had a middle world here where we are today at Theashup. And down below was the world of Koyanashup, where all the devilish peoples lived. And we all have names for those. We call them the Nunasis. And we all had to hear these stories to make sure that the sky people and those people below us, we didn't get caught up in their actions. They were malevolent and benevolent beings. Well, before even us, before we as our bodies and the way we look today were here, we had these monster people, these giants that roamed our world in animal form and people form. They were known as Momolakuiku. And they were so big, the people could walk across the ocean to visit their relatives on the islands, taking them gifts. Well, one time it just started to rain. And it rained, and it rained, and it rained, and everything. Now the waters had come together. The lakes and streams flowed together. The lakes ended up flowing with the ocean, and the waters started to rise here in Athiashup. Well, before long, the waters rose so high, all those people perished and drowned in that flood. There was a big, tall tree that was remaining out of the water, and on the very top of that tree was a little bird, all by himself, Makutlikak, spotted woodpecker. And he's crying up to the people above, the sky people, oh, yoch, he's all cold, and the waters are lapping at his feet, and he's hungry. Well, Sun, one of the sky people, his daughters looked below, and they called him over, Go, come see. Look, he's kin, you must help him. So Sun looks out, Kakanupmawa is his name. He looks out, Haku, lahupwashwashets. Hello, how are you? What do you mean, how am I? I'm cold and I'm hungry, and aren't you going to help me? Well, he thought, okay, all right. So he throws him ishpanish, acorns. And the little bird loved the little acorns, and he was eating and eating them. He got full after a time, and he thought, oh, but I still like these. Well, he started pecking holes in the tree, and he started pushing them in the tree, in the trunk of the tree. Well, Sun's daughter said, Coco, you have to do something. So Sun moves around the world every day lighting his fire stick. It's a bark rolled up just like my askatata here, my clapper stick, but he sets it on fire. And that's how he lights the world. He flicks off the embers, and that's how some of our stars are created. Well, as he puts the fire stick in the waters, all the waters recede. All the way back down, the earth is starting to show. The rivers are starting to show. The lakes and the oceans separating again. Well, the first people, the Momolakwiku, that had perished in that flood had changed to stone. And today we still see them. As we're driving down from the Thousand Oaks on that highway, we look just to our left, and there's the woman staring out to the north. Or in Ojai, we have our Chief's Peak. We also have a whale out on Whale Rock Ranch out of stone. So they're still around us, and there's other places you may know of around the world. I go to Zuni, where there's a big frog that I visit every year. Well, it was time to put man back into the world. And the sky people came together. We had sun, moon, morning star, evening star, dawn, who is the breath of the sun. We had Snilly Moon, sky coyote, and a little sky lizard. And Shlo, eagle, who held up. That was his job, to hold up that world, the upper world from our world. They all gathered around on this nice rectangular stone table. And anything you put on that table left an exact impression and could never be changed again. Well, everyone gathered around, and they had man's body all laid out. But somebody said, well, wait a minute, what's going on there? Well, when they looked down, they noticed man didn't have hands. Well, how is he going to help himself? How are they going to work? Or that's really silly. You got to give man hands, right? So everybody gathered, and Snilly Moon pops up and he says, how about my hand? I've got very beautiful hands, holding up his paw. Well, everybody thought about that. They said, well, we already gave those wings to the winged, and then we can't give them fins. That would be weird. So anyway, it's going to be that Snilly Moon, sky coyote, is going to put his paw down where man's hand's going to go forever. Well, sky lizard, who is very fast and very quick, ran around the backside of Snilly Moon and put his hand down real fast. And he ran away. And he's in the rocks, and he's laughing because that looked pretty good. And people thought, hey, wow. So when you see a little lizard and you look at your hands, you're going to see a similarity there. And just where would we be with paws today? You know, we couldn't ride our bikes. You couldn't ring that little bell, you know. You couldn't text. Oh. So just think about that. My goodness. So when we see that little lizard, we say, woya, woya, thank you, thank you. We don't know how man descended from that upper world down here, but we do have stories about how Centipede went up to the world and got killed and was revived and came back into this world. He's kind of a death symbol for us. Well, as time went on, people did start. There's another story that comes to us. This one's a lot earlier. This one was told to us by Maria Solares, an elder from San Ynez. The other story is one that comes from the Rainbow Bridge that you might be more familiar with. And that comes to us from Tomas Ignacio from Santa Barbara, teaching his family, and Ernestine Ignacio de Soto shares that story. And it was a time when there was no people here, and Hutash, our Mother Earth, was out on the island when it was one gigantic island. It wasn't separated like it is today. What we're seeing right now are mountaintops. So when it was all that one island, Hutash, you may be familiar. It's growing right now, and it's a little prickly pod that grows on plants that look like ivy. It's called wild cucumber. Well, there was wild cucumber out there on Limu, and she was lonely. She was out there all by herself, and she had her animals. She had her little skunk, and she had a little fox and some snakes, and of course, all the sea creatures. But something was missing, so she thought, next day, I'm going to plant these seeds and see what happens. Well, after a time, the seeds started to grow, and we humans came up out of the world. And some of those seeds you'll see match the color of our skin. She'll, oh, you're so beautiful. Look at you. Oh, I'm so happy that you were here. Taught them all the things there on the island, how to live, and gave them all these gifts. Well, her husband, the sky snake, he looked down upon her. Today we call him the Milky Way. Says, look at you. What am I supposed to give them? You gave them all these things. I want to give them something. She goes, oh, husband, you're smart. You're clever. You'll think of something. So he thought about that, and he said, well, I know what man needs. He roared up a great energy inside him, and he spit down on the ground, and fire was created. And, oh, the people love that gift of the fire. But in the story, Condor, our biggest bird with a near 10-foot wingspan, saw the smoke coming up out of the ground, and he's very curious. He flies over it. The smoke gets in poor Wit's eyes, and he can't see where he's going, and he flies right into the fire, burning all of those feathers off of his head. That's why it's all red and wrinkled today. Scorching at one point, he was a very handsome bird. Beautiful white feathers all over his body and his wings. Very handsome. But then the fire scorches and turns all those beautiful white feathers into the black charcoal that they are today. Only remaining of the white, beautiful feathers are the stripes underneath his wings. I'm leaving, he said, and I'm never coming back. And you know, today, Condor has not returned to the islands. He just didn't like that at all. Well, the islands started to get really crowded. You know, this time, Moon, our other sky person, was the one who lights the night. But with Shlo holding up the world, he would spread his wings out, and it would cause those phases of the moon. And when there was no moon, it would be so dark, the people would go inside. And it would be quiet and still on the island. And Hutash would just go, oh, silence. And she liked that quiet time. But then she says, now look what you've done, she yells at her husband. You gave them fire. Now they're up all night partying and singing and dancing, and I don't get any rest. You ruined it. Well, the island was getting a little populated because while in all those parties, lots of babies were being born. And she called everybody to the highest mountain, Siwot. And she says, you are going to go to another place. So as she created a magical rainbow that connected from the island all the way out to, some of you may know, Chismahu. And it's a mountain that steams out, Chismahu, where it steams out. And you're going to cross over that rainbow onto a new place. I'll show you what's there. You'll learn how to live amongst these other rooted and winged people and other four-leggeds. Plenty of room, because I need some space here. Well, what she forgot as the people started to journey over the rainbow bridge is, oh, I forgot. Whatever you do, do not look down. But, you know, people as we are, we didn't get the memo. Or, you know, we didn't turn our phone on, it's not charged. So they start looking down, and it was a great mist and fog below. They were getting dizzy, and they're calling out, oh Yoch, Hutash, oh Yoch, help, help. And they started falling into the ocean and fearing their last breath. Hutash says, oh, I didn't mean for them to die. I just wanted them to cross the bridge. What do I do? Well, she was a very powerful woman. And as the people hit the ocean, they come up from the bottom, and they're not dead. They're not dying. They're breathing, moving about. But they had been transformed. And they saw themselves. They saw, whoa, what am I? Oh, they were no longer humans. They had a beautiful fin for legs, and they had little arms that turned to fins. And she says, you are now Alakoi. Oh, Alakoi, that's pretty. What's it mean? It means to go around and about. And that's what the dolphins do. They go, when you're out on the ocean, what do? They go round and about with you. So those are our brothers and sisters. Well, the story doesn't end. There's still people crossing over the Rainbow Bridge. And as they're crossing over the bridge, they get to Chismahu and they come down. Some people go all the way south to places called Humalewu. Today we say Malibu. They go to Muwu Beach, Point Magoo. Or they go to Shishalap, in the mud. It's over here at Surfers Point. And they go inland, Achai, Ojai. Or they go way north to Kalawashak, the House of the Turtle, San Ynez. Or they go to Pismu, Tar, Pismo Beach. Or Lompo, stagnant water. So all these different place names that we have here, where all the people spread out into our territory in that geography, in that science, 7,000 square miles. Some people stayed on the, I ain't going. No way. Are you going to go? No, I'm not going. So they stayed out there on the islands. So we have that ancestry from there. And I'm going to share another little story. Coyote plays a very important part in our culture. He's the trickster, kind of like in the Northwest. He's the raven. Well, as he's coming, he's always hungry. I mean, some days he's coming down the road and there's little stick bug, little pinacate. And he was even going to eat him. But then Pinacate sees him and goes, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Well, then he sticks his bottom up in the air. And as Coyote comes around, here he's called Huha, not like the Snilly Moon. Now, Snilly Moon in the upper world, I must go back a little bit and tell you that he still later helped us as humans. Because the sky people and lower world people feasted on our flesh and drank our blood. That's how they stayed alive. So Snilly Moon would always say, you know, take the older people, don't take the babies or the young ones, but sometimes they couldn't help it. Well, he became the North Star. And so he's still helping us today when we get lost and we're out there in the wilderness. Well, this hoo-ha, he'd help us sometimes, only if he got something out of it. You know, he's always going around the world. Well, he was hungry, and he saw some boys digging in the ground with their digging sticks. And they're digging up bulbs and roots and things, the cocamites, the little brodia bulbs. They're going to take them home and roast them. They're like a little wild onion. And while there was another group of boys that when hoo-ha came up, wanting to, you know, I'm hungry, would you feed me? The boys over here said, oh, go away. No, 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 we don't have any for you. And then the other group of boys said, oh, uncle, told him, uncle, come, you can come over here. We'll feed you. Well, hoo-ha said, okay, all right, yeah, we see how you are. So he made the ground really super hard and the brodia bulbs really super deep for the stingy, mean boys. So when all the cocamitas were dug up and they were headed toward the village, they got a few bulbs. And when they went back to the village, again, hoo-ha, had the fire so hot that the stingy boys, all their cocamitas burnt up. And they went to bed hungry that night. Where the nice boys, they feasted and they fed him and he was happy. There were other times when he just roamed the world, bringing stories to people, singing, you know, calling out to women, and all these things. So I want to share another little story with you. That is not from my culture. I don't want to tell you yet where it comes from, but that as we listen to these stories long enough, we find what is the lessons there. What are we being taught here? So this is a competition story between eagle and swallow. Competitions that who can fly the highest. And eagle's going, wait a minute, I'm going to race him. Well, go, yeah, you're going to race me. So they get going, and eagle's flying and flapping his wings. I don't believe this, but come on, dude, let's go. Let's have at it. So he's flying and flying, flapping, and here's little sparrow with his wings flapping and flapping, and he's keeping up. He goes, oh, hey, he's pretty good. Okay, so he's up there, and eagle's almost to as far as he could go. When all of a sudden, he just can't go any further, and he stops, and he's hovering. Oh, God, there he is. He's still there. And all of a sudden, sparrow jumps on the back of eagle all the way up to his head and flew up. I win. And that is all. That comes from Ireland. It's a little Irish story. I have, I did my genealogy, and everybody's doing genealogies. At least, I think, 2% British Isles. So I resonate with that, the different many cultures. They're just all so beautiful as we move about. In our place, we want to talk about a little bit about those lower world people, because they're the ones that are told. You were told that when you are up in the morning, you get up and get into the waters before the Nunasis get in there, and they'll steam it up, and you'll be lazy all day long. So you have to get in that waters before they do. Those the Nunasis are separated into the Yawo, the Hap, and the Luilus. Now, the two major ones, the Hap, he's a big, hairy monster. And as he comes into this world, now this is metaphorically too, and I want you to think about this, that he's never satisfied. He comes up into the middle world, and as he inhales, like that, everything, trees, people, items, all this stuff to consume. And he's never satisfied. And we're kind of in that space as we think about this today, that we have to quench that desire and that greed and all of that for our people. The Yawo is one that we teach children about being out, and even people being out late at night, that the Yawo will come up, and he has a basket that hangs all the way down with tar, asphaltum in there. And he'll snatch people and take them down and roast them up. So in Hopi, the mesas are 500 feet high, right? If you've been to Hopi mesas. I asked the woman, I said, who do you have? Do you have something that keeps the children? 60-mile-an-hour winds can blow a child off the ledge. Oh, yeah, there's a monster that lives just right there. So we tell that story. If you get too close, he's going to come up and gobble you up. So we sing a song that talks about gain and profit, and that gain is the cause of it all, and people go as far as killing people, and gain is the cause of it. So we sing this little song. See, we knew, hi-ya-ya. See, we knew, hi-ya-ya. We knew, hi-ya-ya. We knew, hi-ya-ya. We knew, hi-ya-ya. See, we knew, hi-ya-ya. See, we knew, hi-ya-ya. We knew, hi-ya-ya. We knew, hi-ya-ya. We knew, hi-ya-ya. So with that, I thank you, and I am finished now, and I will add a little bit more as we close today. Thank you very much.
I'm going to go a little off script here, so bear with me. You know,
See, that's my name.
recently up there in Ojai where you live, the ground's been shaken a little bit. What's up with that?
As I mentioned, up in the upper sky, we have that sacred space between Atiashuk and Mishupashuk. The eagle holds up that world. Below us, in Koyanashuk and Atiashuk, there are snakes that lay this way. And when things they're not satisfied, or we don't know, maybe development. All the high rises we're seeing here will, every now and then, they get tired of holding up that weight, and they'll shake and they'll shimmer, and that's where we get our earthquakes and tremors. So we must be careful. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. And now I'm going to invite Julie to lead us in prayer and tell us a little bit about what it is.
In all cultures, we want to create or look at prayer as a way of everyday life, that we walk in this place of sacredness, that we see all life in that form that was created for this world, of all peoples, of all races, of all traditions, as a sacred way that has been taught to them for thousands and thousands of years. That you ask us, Creator, to bring that faith into us, bring that trust into us, that there is that higher power that is waiting for us to engage in and to walk into. We also want to acknowledge that power within us as we move in that place, that we, whatever traditions that we live, we know that those stories are our teachings. Those are a way of learning to behave and walk in this world. Help strengthen the spirit. And in some places, for those people, weaken the body and strengthen the spirit. Weaken the body, strengthen the spirit. That had worked for me, Creator, in a time when I saw someone suffering with self-abuse. We need to have community, Creator, to bring people into a place that if my Father and his teachings, you don't need to know their names, but if you see somebody and you acknowledge them and you say hello, the Creator, to bring us back into that place of humanity, to bring us back into that place of serving, of service, to see something on the ground that is trash, that is something that is disrespectful for Mother Earth. This is her place. This is her home. Will we do that if we explore into other realms and other planets? We are here. This is our home. Let us find that wisdom and knowledge through those teachings that have been long passed down to us of how to act in this world, how to behave as human beings, and to bring back, again, that humanity and that generosity for those who do not, for whatever reason, have not and are suffering, the children that have been separated, the elders who are being abused by people as they're supposed to be cared for, that we have this place as we move into our other dimension that life and death are not permanent. It is a cycle. It is a cycle that we move into. Those people crossing over into the North Creator, if there's ways to heal them, and if it is not their time, then heal them. We call upon all of our humans here to pray that if there was somebody in your life, in your world, that as we do the joys and sorrows, that we don't want the suffering. We have had so much suffering in our world. And to think beyond, Creator, bring us to that place of looking outside ourselves into that place of the seventh generation. Maybe we need to go out 10 generations, because what are we leaving this generation? This generation behind us want to work. They want to be of service. They want to, as we sang for the earth, as we sang for the sea, as we sang for the air, fire, and water, what are we leaving them? What are we leaving behind as we live this world? Knowing that when we leave this world, we come to a place of great power. Our bodies contain us. This is our vessel. We keep it healthy. Sometimes we can't for one reason or another. But when we get to that other place, we become the Atashwin, the spirit helper, the dream helper, the power. Some animals become that power. The Atashwin for some people are the Holy Spirit, the guardian angel. Those are us in that other place of spirit. And there we are powerful. And we do hear them. We do hear that voice. And it is that faith that lights that fire under us that can bring us to that place of power. That we should never say, I can't, or I don't, or I won't. We try to say, I can. Just give me the power, Creator. Bring me that place where I can most excel in the power that I have within me. What is within me that I haven't seen yet, that I can't trust myself to know that I have as much power as any living being in this world, that I can be of service? Where is that one place that you can put me that I can just shine and show my light out to the world without prejudice, without insult, without, what are they doing that? No, we have that ability. And it is congregations and people in the like-mindedness that can come out and not only speak for us as humans, but we desperately need to speak for the world. And as we reach out our love and our power to one another, as we say to one another, peace be with you, but also power be with you, good health be with you, generosity be with you, and all that love that we put out into the world to stop, Creator, that place of pushing the buttons, to get that excitement of the negativities, that when we don't do that, what do people do? They can't, wait, no, I want to get you mad. I want to get you excited. No, we just go, thank you, I don't agree. Have a nice day. And it blows it out. It blows it away. We shield ourselves, Creator. We shield ourselves with those elementals. Mine is water. When I come into a place where I know there might be adversarial, I walk in a blue water bubble. Boing. Some people it's fire. Some people it is earth, and they do put the walls up, but remember to bring them down. And that's the trust. That's the trust we must live in, to know that we are cared for by that higher, greater spirit and that greater power, that we can have that love for people and not know them. And in turn, it's the sweat lodge, that you know that when you're in that place, you don't need to ramble on about yourself, because you have people, every single one of those people in that sweat lodge praying for you. So as you pray outside yourself, know that each one of those people are going to be praying for you. So with that, we walk in that place of beauty. Again, in traditions in front of us, may there be beauty in front of us. May there be beauty to the right of us. May there be beauty to the left of us. May there be beauty behind us. May there be beauty above us and beauty below us. And when we walk in that place, everything becomes brighter. Everything comes illuminated. and it's a change. It is a dramatic change for those people that are trying to recognize those that are in rehabilitation, those that are trying to walk that good place. Recognize them. Try to see the change. Because if they don't see that they're not recognized, what's the point? We want to give them that faith. We want to know that we recognize you're trying. And we bring them and we welcome them back into the village. And we let them express themselves in that place of trying not to walk in shame anymore. That is one of the strongest things that people cannot move beyond, is that place of shame. So we need to open up our hearts to these people who are desperately trying to make their way back into society, back into their humanness and into their strength again. So we ask, Creator, we ask that you just bring all of us into that place of faith and trust and strength and love. And so in your name, Creator, we ask that of you. We thank you.
Please join me in our closing hymn, Go Lift It Up. Rise in body or spirit.
Go lift it up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day.
A little off script, too. I'm sorry to see a service like this end. Julie, what a warm, wonderful human being you are. Thank you for being here. Please join me in reading the words on the screen as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. Those we carry into our lives until we are together again.
Before Julie sends us on our way, followed by Carolyn playing the postlude, I invite those in Zoom into breakout rooms. If those of you in the sanctuary have cash or checks for food share, I remind you you can drop those in the basket at the back. And I remind you all that in a little bit, because I think the RE folks are still doing their activities, but in a little bit we'll be going out. Julie will join the youths outside, and all of you who are present are welcome to join us in that as well. And Julie, do you have any words to send us on our way?
I have a song if I could share. And this is one that I believe our elder, Fernando Librado Quetzalcoatl, he was one who, if it wasn't for him and the only less than a dozen people, I'm going to say 7 informants that talk to anthropologists that our culture is based on. Everything else that had come to us are gone. We will never know unless we're listening, and through that intuitiveness, into those visions, into that dream time, that things will pop up in your head and go, oh, wow, that sounds really good. Where's that coming from? So I really do believe that the voice of our ancestors are all still there. And so this song talks about a transition, crossing over, being created from the breath and moving to the other side. So what does that mean? Does it mean those people who journeyed across from the islands over the Rainbow Bridge into this new land, into this mystery? We always must still know and maintain that mystery. I think that's what keeps us out of trouble too. Or was it during that mission period that lasted nearly 200 years? That where are our people on the other side of that journey, which was amazingly almost devastated our culture. And when bringing up the pandemic, as we're all still here, that we had ours back then. There were no vaccines. There was no comfort. 90% of our culture perished under these smallpox, measles, emphysema, all the stuff, influenza, and so we know this already. This is history repeating itself. We sing this song. This Fernando Labrado shares this song as again another healing song, and just recognizing that if we can pay attention to things, that we can shift and change the energies. Ya 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 Sami momoki oe Sami momoki oe Hosi no na o hene mens Hosi no na o hene mens Ya 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 Sami momoki oe Hosi no na o hene mens Sami momoki oe Hosi no na o hene mens Ya 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 Blessings to all of you, all of us. Yeah. Thank you.